This week on Lost, Boone talks to Shannon like I talk to my university degree.
You're useless.
Rose preaches what it's like to be a Lost fan.
It's a fine line between denial and faith. It's much better on my side.
And Josh Holloway auditions to be the next Tom Cruise. Welcome to my Lost Rewatch, where I am revisiting every episode of the show Lost and talking about the good, the bad, and the mysteries. This week is Season 1, Episode 12, Whatever the Case May Be. Let's get lost! Claire is somewhere. She's not here, or here, nor here, but that's okay because Boone and Locke are looking for her, right?
No.
Oh. Well, anyway, Kate finds a suitcase full of guns and secrets, gives it to Sawyer, and then spends the whole episode trying to get it back until she has to manipulate Jack into wanting to get it back. Elsewhere on the island, Saeed is saying, "Nah deal you're talking about," as he goes all schoolgirl and falls in love with Shannon when he asks her for help with translating the papers he stole from Rousseau. And that was Whatever the Kate May Be. Not a lot going on, really. And this is the first time in the rewatch that I wasn't really looking forward to making one of these videos. Partly because it's harder than you think to make one of these videos every week.
I'm tired, boss.
But also because I was worried that there wouldn't be enough to talk about, since this is considered quite a mid-episode. That said, I still did manage to make 8 pages of notes. So, there's that. Even Damon Lindelof in the Lost on Location feature seems to kind of admit that this episode wasn't that great, or that it was at least a misfire.
The show is always walking that fine line between sort of mystery and clarity. By my own admission, and certainly JJ's, you're going to have to fall off the high wire every once in a while, but then you get back up and hopefully you've learned from the experience.
And over on the comment boards, there was a resounding, not dislike for this episode, but kind of an acceptance that this was one of Lost's first duds. And this is going to be a theme for Kate episodes. But just like Stranger in a Strange Land and Expose, there is still quite a lot to talk about. For example, this episode features another hint towards the island's magical power that allows it to move through space-time. Last time it was Charlie commenting on the not normal day turning into night, end of the world type weather, and this time it's Saeed commenting on the not normal tide shifting so suddenly, as in the episode the tide can be seen very violently and suddenly shifting, necessitating our Losties to move up the beach. And so just like the instantaneous changing weather, I do like that we've now got this tide plot point, which is really further as like kind of background mythology, cementing the idea that the island does move through space and time. And it is funny because this plot point was written purely because of real world reasons, where because of seasonal changes, the tide actually was changing on Mokuleia Beach. And then they had to move up to Papailoa Beach. And that is where the Losties' main camp would be for the rest of the show. So yeah, in a throwaway episode, it's nice to have like a core piece of mythology, but also a fun fact about why something changed forever in the show. I kind of want to ask how, like, after swimming with some corpses and digging up another one, how are Sawyer, Kate, and Jack not just doing this? And I know some people want to do this when I say that Shannon is 20 and Saeed is 36. But seriously, how do Kate and Sawyer go about their day knowing that they've got dead people gunk on their eyes because they opened their eyes in that water crazy. But, I mean, at least Jack actually was nice enough to bury the Marshal. Though the Marshal did die in episode 3, and Jack's been quite busy in all of the episodes. So, I wonder where he actually found the time to bury the Marshal. I imagine that it probably took him several days, and that dude must have been getting pretty ripe by the time that Jack put him 2 feet under.
He's getting pretty ripe.
I like the cross. I think that's a nice touch. In the original script, Kate was supposed to comment on Jack's religious status regarding the cross. And, you know, whilst it's not that deep, it's just nice to have a little bit of a touch on the fact that Jack is the man of science who will very slowly become the man of faith. And speaking of religion, there were a few people in the comments who were kicking up a bit of a fuss about Rose putting religion on Charlie, before a few others gently reminded them that Charlie himself is actually quite religious. But really, I'm just bringing up Rose because I wanted to mention this scene here where I think she's quite mean.
Hello, Charlie. Oh, that's right. You're not talking much these days. But it doesn't mean you get to be rude.
Pot calling the kettle black, Rose.
Hi. Rose, right?
Everybody's getting pretty worried about you, Rose. If you want to be alone, that's fine, but you have to take care of yourself. We don't have to talk. Let's just sit for a while.
Not really about this episode, but about my personal experience with the show. I actually missed this episode on its first run. You know, back in the days when if you wanted to watch something on TV, you had to watch it when it was on, because I didn't have any way to record, so I just missed this episode, and I never even realised it until after the season. I was watching a Weird Al Bohemian Rhapsody parody. And in that, there were 2 shots, these 2, and I realized that I didn't recognize them. That kind of goes to show you how much we were watching and rewatching and how carefully we were watching. That in this little polka parody song, I could see 2 shots from an entire season of television and know that I hadn't seen them before. But, I mean, the episode was whatever the cake may be, so wasn't really missing much, was I? Good things about this episode. Good things about this episode. Well, the opening of this episode is pretty good. It starts out with a sweeping, almost romantic tone, watching Kate find fruit as if she's living a perfectly happy island life. Before a twig snaps and the score quickly reminds us that we're living on a messed up island where danger is around every corner and in every suitcase. Whatever the suitcase may be. You had the case, Kate. When they get the suitcase, Kate has the suitcase. And then she randomly lets Sawyer have it, but then she spends the entire episode chasing him to get it back. For what? I'm usually a defender of Kate. But in this episode, her actions were just so frustratingly annoying, especially because there's no real long-term payoff for Kate's actions in this episode for the rest of the show. Like, Kate's love of Tom and this airplane never really comes back or has an impact. But before I go all Jack in a lighthouse, let's spin that donkey wheel and go back in time to see what people were saying about this episode in 2005. Shannon to Boone about Locke. Is he your new boyfriend? Oh my god, this show is going to be the death of me. I love the way he looked at her when she said that. Not that I think that there's something going on with Boone and Locke, but that comment could be one more hint towards the gay Boone. Please let me be right, please. I love this show's atmosphere, the sounds, the island, etc. But content? What did we learn tonight? That Kate killed a man. That's great. Wasn't it last episode that they found some metallic trapdoor case in the ground? Did they switch episodes? I mean, look, if the show answered every mystery in every subsequent episode, it wouldn't make for a very good, story. It's just a list of plot points that are happening. That's not fun. I know some people will say that Shannon is just being a smartass, but I choose to believe it means that she knows, or maybe just suspects, but has never gotten confirmation, that Boone is gay. And that we'll find out in the backstory episode. Well, you only got 1 week to wait, buddy! I liked the episode. I'm kind of irritated by the fact that they're not going to show any dark side to Kate, at least not a real one. She's a bank robber with a heart of gold, who doesn't really want to rob the bank anyway, and I'm sure that whatever reason that she has for killing the guy she loved is a good one. It'd be way more interesting, in my opinion, if they didn't try to make her out as a good person. They do seem to be trying to have their cake and eat it too. They have established that Kate is a manipulative, deceptive, dangerous person, but at the same time, they're trying to make you love her. But we're not quite used to like our Jaime Lannisters or our Walter Whites just yet. So maybe at the time they were just trying to make Kate like that likable person who has a bad past, which doesn't match up with the golden Kate that we get. I'm thinking that the person Kate killed was her father, because in the previous episode she said that her father was in the Air Force, I think, and that plane looked like a military plane. I love it when I'm reading the comments and someone gets something right, is in the fact that she killed her father, but they get another part of it wrong. That it makes me excited for them, because I'm like, I wonder how cool it was when they were like, oh crap, she did kill her dad, but I was wrong about the other bit. My brother cannot follow the episode without the script sitting in front of him and a dictionary. He actually called me during a commercial break going, what's the key for that Jack and Kate are fighting over? I'm just like, are you kidding me? Are you watching the show with the sound off? Your brother is the kind of guy who in a few years is going to say that everyone was dead all along. Give him a slap. From me and from all of us. Kate in panties! Tsunami! Boone is gay! Is no one else excited that we got to see Sawyer ass? This show is so good I would be fapping over Hurley's ass. What the This show needs more Kate naked. Butt naked. God, you guys are such perps. At least it's equal opportunities. Alright. That's that. Decomposing Passenger 1 and Decomposing Passenger 2. You will be missed. Now let's go to Whose Side Are You On? Where I talk about my MVP of the episode. It's Jack, but hear me out, I want to defend him. He's not perfect, but I don't think that he deserves the hate that he gets for his actions in this episode.
No, I kind of hate him in this episode. I don't always hate Jack, but like this is just not a good Jack look this whole episode.
Well, because Jack clearly doesn't believe her.
Right, he says, stop lying to me,
Right.
stop lying to me.
Which, I'm okay, I can't hold back anymore.
Go for it.
Why the fuck does Jack think he has a right to this information?
Yes.
Like, what does Kate owe him? Why does he think that he has this power over her and that she owes him any of this?
That is an excellent question.
Because it makes me very angry.
That has a not good answer for Jack, I think.
Yeah, like, if it is only because he's kept her secret, then that's, like, low-key blackmail, right?
Uh-huh.
That's just...
I was rewatching this episode, which I've seen many times. I'm rewatching and I'm like, wow, Sawyer's like kind of a real piece of shit in this episode. Then I was like, and then Jack's like, hold my non-existent beer. Hold my tropical fruit drink. I'm going to show you, like, it's worse. I think what Jack does is worse. They're both bad,
Right.
and Jack's style of it is worse because it's so, like, Sawyer's like, come on, girl, you're down in the dirt with me. Just stay down here in
Right.
the dirt with me. It's fine. Jack
Sawyer's feels consistent with his character,
Jack
where
is
you know that
so
Sawyer's just gonna poke.
Yeah,
you know?
and Jack is so self-righteous. He's so fucking self-righteous. It just like,
Well,
don't, Kate, just don't. And I'm like, come on, bud. Like, I don't know.
Now the defense. It all starts here.
Jack? We got a problem.
No, Kate, you have a problem, and you're not being upfront with Jack.
We have a problem, or you have a problem?
Look at Jack 10 seconds before.
A headache. Oh, cool. All right.
He doesn't have a stick up his arse. He just knows that Kate's here to use him, or lie to him, or both.
So where's the case now?
Sawyer has it.
He already knows that she's playing him. So, you might say, aha, so it's Jack's fault because he went along with it anyway. But no, because now that he knows about the guns, he has a certain responsibility to take action. Because one, he's the de facto leader of this group, and two, if he doesn't take action, Kate will find some way to get that key and open the suitcase, and then we've got a box of guns, which needs to be looked after. So Kate is forcing Jack to help her, but at the same time, she continues to lie to him, even after he asks her.
So what else is in the case?
What?
What else is in the case, Kate?
Nothing.
So now, Jack is upset because he's being manipulated and lied to, but he still has a duty to go and dig up that case. So Jack is still grieving from his recently deceased father, where, for right or wrong, he feels responsibility for the death of. He has to now go and dig up the corpse of his biggest failure so far on the island, the death of the marshal, who he couldn't save. And his closest and best confidant and potential partner, who has a wildly sexually charged friendship with someone else on the island, is coming to ask him for help, whilst lying point blank to his face.
Oh!
Key isn't in here.
It isn't?
No, but that was real good sleight of hand, distracting me with the wallet. Open it.
They dug up a corpse together, and she still doesn't have the decency to come clean about what she's lying about.
Is this it? Is this what you wanted? I want the truth. Just this once. What is it?
It belonged to the man I loved.
The truth.
It belonged to the man I loved.
Stop lying to me! Tell me the truth!
It belonged to the man I killed!
We need to remember that Kate is actually still a potentially violent criminal.
Kate is a fugitive, you know. Here's this person that we've sort of like been watching now for 12 hours, and we've kind of grown to love and grow affectionate with. And by the way, we just wanted to remind you that she's a fugitive. She is not all those things. Like, she is actually capable of being violent and methodical and duplicitous. And in fact, in many ways, she's actually a lot worse than Sawyer. When she's got her mind set on something, she's going to do whatever she has to in order to achieve it.
After what Kate puts him through, I think that Jack has every right to demand a reason for why he was put through what she put him through. And that's why, once again, I am on Jack's side. What do you say for your case, prosecution?
Our case is simply this.
So it's hot out here, let's talk about it. Saeed and Shannon. I mean, I wish my Shannon figurine did this. I digress. The sexuality of this scene might look like it's there just for the male gaze. I mean, look at that joke that I just made, or this comment from 2005. But I think something more important is at play here. Shannon has been a very closed book so far. By putting Shannon's character specifically into this position, mentally, physically, and conversationally, she's become very vulnerable, even though she's almost always half naked on the island. And despite that vulnerability, here she is, giving Saeed, who off island she might typically refer to as
some Arab guy.
She's giving him the time of day as he comes to ask for help. Usually she, the hot one, is in the position of asking others for something and using her wiles to do it. But here the role is reversed. Someone is asking her for help despite her attractiveness, and for nothing in return other than she's going to do some good. And heck, it might be the first time that someone's even asked her for help in all this time. After the absolute negativity that is Boone, who is just a constant put down, Saeed's approach has cracked this egg. And sure, she gets pissy, she struggles, and Saeed encourages and shows an interest in her experiences. French is, after all, the language of love. Bonjour, je m'appelle Etienne. Je t'aime. Sandwich. And look at the progression of these shots with Saeed caring less and less about Russo's papers and more about Shannon feeling comfortable and happy. And I'm not saying that his attraction to Shannon goes all the way back to the pilot, but I always found his face here very funny.
Up and stop trying to be charming. I'm coming with you. I don't know if that's such a good idea.
And on top of everything, to really give like that stamp of authentication, is Boone's jealousy. Like, his jealousy feels real, and that kind of makes whatever this potential thing is feel real too. But we're going to talk a bit more about Boone and Shannon in the next episode. Oh boy. Locke, you're a lying bastard. I still love you, but you're a lying bastard. And we'll get to that next week too. Only one mystery this week. I don't even need the box. I don't even need a piece of paper. The mystery is, if you loved a man so much, Kate, why'd you kill him? Oh wait, you didn't even kill him! This episode drives me nuts! Well, that was whatever the case may be. Thank you for joining me. I hope to see you next week for some Boone and Shannon action. Please agree or disagree with me in the comments, and I will see you in the next video, brother!
Next Wednesday.
Stay away from my sister.
What have I done?
What do you think his story is?
Look, guy's a freak of nature. Highly disturbed.
We found something.
We're gonna have to tell him.
You sure you've thought through the ramifications?
Yes.
So be it.
Somebody help me!
And all new Lost. Next Wednesday, 8/7 Central. Only on